Roman Catholic priests in Scotland will read out a letter in every parish this morning criticising the government for its plan to introduce same-sex marriage.
Just last week, the leader of the church in Scotland, Cardinal Keith O'Brien, broke off personal discussions about the issue with the First Minister Alex Salmond. Here's our religious affairs correspondent, Robert Pickett.
Last week, the Roman Catholic leader in Scotland escalated the dispute about gay marriage by publicly snubbing the First Minister Alex Salmond. Today, Cardinal O'Brien has circulated a letter to all 500 Roman Catholic parishes in Scotland in a further sign that he's ready to recruit the church's rank and file in a political campaign against it. The letter from all Scotland's Catholic bishops says marriage can be only a union between a man and a woman. It says it's wrong that governments, politicians or parliaments should seek to alter or destroy that reality. The bishops restate their deep disappointment that the Scottish Government has decided to redefine marriage and legislate for same-sex marriage. The Church has declared today National Marriage Sunday and announced the launch of a National Commission for Marriage and the Family to coordinate a campaign against same-sex marriage. It appealed to Roman Catholics to take action against the introduction of gay marriage. The Scottish Government said creating same-sex marriage was the right thing to do and that it would proceed, but it stressed that no clergy would be forced to carry them out. Cardinal O'Brien, who in March described gay marriage as a grotesque subversion of a universally accepted human right, is showing that he's determined to do whatever it takes to prevent the legislation succeeding. Robert Pickett, BBC News.
Plans to introduce gay marriage are currently dividing Scotland, with the government on one side and the Catholic Church on the other.
Now, ministers have promised that no clergy would be forced to carry out a same-sex marriage, but that hasn't appeased the Church. And today, priests in every parish will read out a letter criticising the proposals.
Let's speak now to Tom French, who's from the human rights group, the Equality Network, and joins us from Edinburgh. Tom, thanks very much for joining us. Are you surprised by this move by the Catholic Church?
No, absolutely not. I think it's important to say that we agree the Catholic Church have a right to express their opinion, but we think that this is part of a wider anti-gay agenda. It's important to recognise that the Catholic Church have campaigned against every major step towards LGBT equality over the last decade. They disagree with same-sex relationships and they want to impose that view on the rest of society.
Just explain why having legislation for gay marriage is so important, because obviously, of course, we can still, same-sex couples can have civil partnerships.
Well, when civil partnerships were going through, the Equality Network said this is a great step forward, but it's not full equality. Creating a separate institution, especially for gay people, isn't equality by its very nature. So what we want are the same rules, the same rights for same-sex couples as for all other couples.
Let's talk about this letter that's been written. What impact do you think this is going to have?
I don't think it's going to have a great impact. I think those people that oppose same-sex marriage will continue to oppose it. But we know that the majority of people, all the opinion polls have showed at least, that the majority of people support same-sex marriage and believe that LGBT people deserve to be treated with equality. So I hope the government will press on with these right reforms.
There are fears being reported in the Catholic Church that this protest actually is about changing the law, but it also is concerned that teachers will start to not be disciplined if they refuse to use books about same-sex relationships. So this is obviously spilling wider than just gay marriage.
Absolutely, and this is part of that wider anti-gay agenda that I mentioned a moment ago. The Catholic Church said earlier this week that they believe young school pupils should be taught that same-sex relationships are risky, harmful and dangerous. Now, I think that schools have a duty of care to young people, regardless of their sexual orientation or family situation. And so I absolutely wouldn't want to see a situation whereby LGBT people are somehow censored out of the school curriculum.
Tom, has the Equality Network engaged in a conversation with the Catholic Church?
Absolutely, we've tried to. I mean, one of the things that we said right from the start is that we don't want to force any religious group to conduct same-sex marriages if they don't want to. So the Catholic Church are aware that no one is trying to require them to conduct same-sex marriages. And we're concerned that what the Catholic Church want to do is impose their views on all other religious organisations, some of whom do want to conduct same-sex marriages, and of course the rest of society.
OK, Tom, thanks very much for giving us your views. Tom French there from the Equality Network. Just to be clear, we'll also be getting a view from the Catholic Church of Scotland. We'll be speaking to the Parliamentary Officer, John Dean, later in the programme, that around 7:20.
It's fair to say that the Scottish Government has a fight on its hands when it comes to plans to introduce same-sex marriage.
Well, the move has the backing of equality organisations and some faith groups. But the head of the Catholic Church in Scotland, Cardinal Keith O'Brien, describes gay marriage as a grotesque subversion of a universally accepted human right. Today, a letter criticising the proposals will be read out in every parish.
Well, John Dagan is the Parliamentary Officer for the Catholic Church of Scotland. He joins us now from Glasgow. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us this morning.
You're welcome.
Grotesque is a rather strong and, in these enlightened times, a rather unfair word, I think, to use something that is widely accepted by many people.
Well, I think, to be honest, you're taking that quote from the Cardinal out of context. He was talking about how we understand human rights laws, and he was talking about the subversion of human rights laws to actually undermine the rights of others. So it wasn't attacking anyone. It was supporting long-held values and beliefs about the importance of marriage.
OK, we take your point. No one is asking the Catholic Church to marry same-sex couples in their buildings. It's just simply something that is happening in many other areas, and the Scottish Government is looking to treat everybody equally.
Well, it won't do that at all. What it will do is change how we perceive marriage in society. It will stop people being able to promote marriage as the union of a man and woman. That will impact on the religious freedom, the freedom of speech, the right of parents to teach their children, the fundamental institution of society. So the implications are profound. That's the context. But this today is about promoting marriage. It's a perpetual and consistent teaching of the Church that marriage between a man and a woman is the foundation of society. And today the Catholic Church in Scotland is reasserting that.
Is the Catholic Church in any way minded to try and reach some kind of an agreement with the First Minister over this?
Well, for many years on this issue, the Catholic Church has been open. We've been friendly with the politicians, with the government. We've kept channels of communication open. And I'm afraid, along with 67% of people who responded to a consultation, our voice is being ignored. So things politically can't just continue as before. However, this is about dealing with a cultural issue. We see the politicians here are actually being led by a change in our culture which has forgotten the value of marriage. And today we're just saying to Catholics in particular, this is a Catholic thing, and it's part of the Year of Faith for Catholics to re-examine their faith, to look at the important and fundamental values of that faith, and the importance of family life is crucial to that. It's been recognised through all societies, all cultures, the importance of marriage and the commitment between a man and a woman for the sake of children, and we need to bring that message to Catholics once more and to all of society.
All right, John Dagan, thanks very much indeed.
You're very welcome.